Okay guys, so now we have planned out our story. We have done our mind map for person, our character, place, our setting, and we know what the problem is going to be. I have mine written down here. My person is Sarah, my place is playground, and the problem is a skipping challenge that another boy is going to have extreme difficulty with, okay? And needs Sarah's help to complete. Now, in order to start our story, to have an effective opening to the story, we can't just lunge in and start talking about Sarah in the playground, and we need something to draw the reader in, okay, to make it interesting. Otherwise, people are going to think, oh, this is not really interested in reading this story. We need something to draw them in. So the way we draw them in is by using a story hook. So story hook. Okay, so a hook, like something you would hook onto something to reel the person in. Okay, it's kind of like a fishing rod. The fish would grab onto the bait and you'd reel them in. So we're trying to place bait for the readers to grab onto to make them want to read more. All right, so there are a few different forms of story hook, and you can choose whichever one you like best. So the first form is dialogue. Now, dialogue is basically when people are speaking, okay? So dialogue, we have speech marks, which we all love, speech marks. And the example I might use from my story could be, you can do it, Darren. Okay, you can do it, Darren. Now, exclamation mark, because I'm saying it like, come on, you can do it, Darren. Keep going, okay? Sarah here is egging Darren on, all right? She's saying, come on, you can do it. Now, straight away, if that's the first line that we see in a sentence, now bear in mind, boys and girls, Darren, I'm making that name up. He will say, the boy that is going to have to complete the skipping challenge and is very nervous about it. So I might start my story by saying, come on, you can do it, Darren, or you can do it, okay? Said Sarah. I don't even need to put in the said Sarah, okay? Capital S there. I don't even need to put in the said Sarah. I can just say, you can do it, Darren. Now that already, as a reader, has me thinking, oh, you can do what? What can Darren do? What's this all about? I'd like to know a bit more, okay? So I could start my very first line. My story hook is your first line with that. You can do it, Darren. I could then go and say something like, Darren had never skipped before, and start into the story that way. You don't have to write any more. It can just be a one-liner, okay? But it has drawn me in. What can he do? Now, the next one could be a question. Now, this is the correct term for this is a rhetorical question. So you don't need to know that, but what it means is you're asking a question that you want the reader to think about, but you don't necessarily want them to answer it, right? It was just something to get them thinking. So my question might be, what would you do if you faced a challenge that terrified you? Okay, what would you do if you faced a challenge that terrified you? That could be my very first question and the introduction to my sentence. So if I'm the reader and I'm reading a book and I open it on the first page and the very first line is, what would you do if you faced a challenge that would terrify you? I would automatically think, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'd do. Hang on a minute, I wonder what the challenge is that they're talking about in this story. I'd like to know more about this, okay? So that is a very good hook as well. Now, you have dialogue and question there. You would choose between those. You don't need to have more than one. You just choose one of them. Now, another another form of story hook is an interesting fact, okay? So I'm going to put that one down here. Interesting fact. Now, an interesting fact which relates to the content of your story. So the content of my story and the topic is skipping and being in a playground, that kind of thing. So I'm going to make up an interesting fact. Now, this is a story. It is a narrative. It can be a made up one, okay? Now, I know facts are real, but for the sake of this, we mightn't know a lot of facts on the topic that you want to do. So if you want to make up something, that's okay as well. Now, interesting fact, I'm going to make one up because I don't know any facts on skipping right now. I don't have a laptop beside me. So an interesting fact could be a skipping rope a skipping rope can last 50 years. Okay, that's my fact. What was the point of it? Well, I have started my story by introducing the reader to the notion that my narrative is going to be in some way related to skipping. I've drawn them in by telling them this interesting fact, that a skipping rope can last 50 years. I didn't know that before. I'm interested in it. Now, bear in mind, I've just made this up, okay? So don't take that as being real, lads, okay? Now, so there are 3 forms of story hook. You can start off with dialogue, with a question, or with an interesting fact. And another way that we can do it, the last one we look at, is a vivid description. A vivid description. Now, you mightn't know what vivid means. Vivid is very, very clear, okay? So a crystal clear description of your setting. So in this case, my setting is a playground. So I'm going to describe the playground in a very vivid way. So let's see. The swing rocked in the wind. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera. The swing rocked in the wind like an old rocking chair. So I have given a vivid description of the swing in the playground. I know that it's rocking in the wind like an old rocking chair. Indirectly, that could be telling me that this particular swing is moving in the wind and that it might look old because I've said an old rocking chair. Potentially, there's no one on the swing as well because the swing rocked in the wind. It's rocking in the wind. It's not rocking by someone sitting on it or pushing it. It's rocking in the wind, okay? So automatically, once I've read that is a vivid description which works as a story hook. And it's drawing me in. The swing rocked in the wind like an old rocking chair. Okay, well, I want to know a bit more about this swing or about the location in which the swing is. So that has drawn me in, okay? So that is how you write a story hook. So when you're planning your story, you plan your story first, like we did with the mind map on person, place, and problem. You then start thinking about what story hook you want. You choose one of them. It's whichever one you prefer most. You can make up a dialogue, something that someone is saying. You can make up a question to ask the reader, a rhetorical question. They're not answering it. It's making them think themselves. An interesting fact about your setting or your topic, or a vivid description about your setting. Okay?